best car, SUV, or truck, guess what? You're in luck. Frontier Motors is down the street. Got the best deals that can't be beat. Don't overpay, come in today. Doing business the old-fashioned way. Frontier, we got the right price. Frontier, we'll treat you mighty nice. Frontier Motors, low overhead country.
Well, I've got some good news for you. The owner of that establishment has joined us here in the studio. I refer to Frontier Motors, of course, at 230 Beverly Parkway. And I know for a fact that he is ready, willing, and more than able to take any phone inquiries from you should you desire to obtain the price of a car or a truck or an SUV. And you do that by dialing 478-3116, 478-3116, and you will have the opportunity to talk, as I am doing, with Ivan Streckel. Good morning, sir.
Thanks, Don. Thanks for the introduction. And once again, we bring you the Frontier Motor Show. And this is 1370 Talk Radio AM. We've been doing this show for 19 years. We are also videotaping this for our Blab TV customers. So if you're watching this on TV, don't bother calling in. Even though this is a call-in show, you want to call the 1370 Talk Radio Show, and the phone number there, of course, is 478-3116, as it has been for years and years and years. I think since we've been here for 19 years.
Correct.
The phone number has been the same, 478-3116. What I can help you with is the value of your car. That's one of the things that we do at Frontier Motors, that we do not just for the call-in show and the Blab show. We do it for anybody that walks in or calls during the day. We're open till 6 o'clock at night, 4 o'clock on Saturday. We're closed on Sunday. What we do all day long, other than sell cars, is to give people advice to make sure that if they're going to buy a car, they get a good one. If they're going to buy a car, they get a good price. And if they're going to buy a car, get one that's reliable. And we have the rankings at the dealership. We have, and always bring them to the radio show also. The Consumer's Guidebook has the worst and, well, I shouldn't say the worst first, the best and the worst. I don't like talking about the worst because we are an independent dealership, so we sell every make and model. I will tell you, I'm going to pick on the worst car that they don't sell in Pensacola. Let's see, they rank them from 1 to 28. The worst car they don't sell in Pensacola. I'm not gonna mention it because I got a lot of those cars in stock.
Okay.
The funny thing is, and I'll use a Jeep Grand Cherokee as an example. Years ago, I'm talking about back in the 90s, I remember reading Consumers Reports, and it said the 95, the 96, the 97 Grand Cherokees were complete junk. We sold the heck out of them. And every once in a while, you'd have a power window that goes out or something like that. But and a differential, maybe around $100,000, a differential would start whining a little bit. It wouldn't go out, but it would start making noise, and it costs about $1,000 to $1,200 to fix a differential. But other than that, we had really good luck with the Grand Cherokee, even though Consumers Reports bashed them. Now, Consumers Reports, I do agree with some things they say. They say that the best make and model out there for the last year has been the Lexus. And I think since I've been doing this show for going on 19 years, the Lexus has been on top when we started, and it's on top now. Now, a newcomer to the best brand that you might not know and you might not even shop at, number 2, according to Consumer Reports, for reliability and road test performance. What they do is they take the reliability of the car and how the car drives, and they put it together, and they come out with a rating. Number 2 is Mazda. I don't think anybody would have thought that. I would have thought you might have thought of Acura or Honda or Toyota or Scion, some type of Toyota Japanese product, but it's Mazda. Well, I guess it's Japanese also. Mazda is number 2. So the neat thing about being an independent dealer like Frontier Motors is that we sell Mazdas, we sell Lexus. Number 3 is Toyota. We sell Toyotas. Number 4 is Audi. We have Audis. Number 5 is Subaru. We have Subarus. Number 6 is Porsche. We got a Porsche on the lot. I don't do big Porsche business, but we have a Porsche Cayenne on the lot. We have number 7 is Buick. Number 7 made the top 10, which is Buick. We've got a lot of Buicks on the lot. And everybody knows about the new commercial. That's not a Buick. Well, guess what? Buick has come a long way, folks. We're lucky enough to have a Buick dealership right here. Vince Wibbs, our local Buick dealer, and I urge you to go to Vince Wibbs to buy a brand new one. I urge you to stop at Frontier Motors and shop before you buy the brand new one to see what I can sell you a 15 or a 14 model and how much I can save you on depreciation in the first year. Number 8 is Honda. Interesting. I would think that Honda would be ahead of Mazda. It's not. Honda's rated number 8. Number 9 is a sleeper. No, who would have thunk it? Everybody comes in and asks me about Kia. What do you think of Kia? I think they're a great car, and Kia right now is voted in reliability and performance ahead of BMW, ahead of Acura, ahead of Volvo, ahead of GMC, Volkswagen, Lincoln, and even Infiniti down the line. That's a Kia, folks. Then it's BMW, then it's Acura, Volvo, and Hyundai. I love Kias and Hyundais because they have a 5-year warranty. So if you buy a 1-year-old Kia or Hyundai or Mitsubishi for that matter, they have a 5-year warranty. So if it's 1-year-old, you have a 4-year warranty. So if you take a 4-year loan out for the coverage of the loan, you are going to have a warranty even without paying for an extended warranty. When we talk about new cars, I do talk about new cars quite often because we are the alternative to a new car. So if you think about buying brand new, we always urge you to stop in at Frontier Motors. And I'm going to let you know the type of cars that we have on the lot. I'm not going to bore you, but I'm going to name off about the first 20 cars and the mileage that we have on these cars. Because again, if you're going to buy brand new, we're not telling you not to go to the new car store, but stop at Frontier Motors first and then go to the new car store. And I'm going to give you an out-the-door figure, for example, on our 2014 Chevy Equinox with 700 miles on it. So if you're going to go to Sandy Sansing, or if you're going to go to Pete Moore, which are our 2 local dealers, which I always urge you to buy locally if possible, stop at Frontier Motors and let's see if I can save you money. Now, I know I can. I wouldn't have bought this 14 with 700 miles on it if I thought that you could buy a brand new one for the same price. So what I'm going to do, if you stop in, is I'm going to give you an out-the-door figure. I'm going to appraise your trade-in also to make sure that they give you the same dollar amount, if not more, that I give you. So what I'm going to do is appraise the trade. I'm going to give you an out-the-door figure. We're going to compare that to a brand new 15. If it's only $1,000 or $2,000 more, I'd say buy the 15. Mine's a 14. But what if it's $5,000 more for a 15 over ours? I think I can persuade you to buy ours. We also have a Jeep Wrangler on the lot with, let's see, it's got 1,060 miles on it. We have a 14 Fiat 500L, which is the new big Fiat. This is a wagon Fiat. It's a great little car. I think it's only $18,800. It's got 1,100 miles on it. So if you're going to go to the Fiat of Pensacola, stop and look at ours with 1,100 miles on. We got another Equinox with 1,000 miles on. We have a Buick Encore, which is their small sport utility with 2,400 miles on. We have a Kia Sorento with 2,500 miles on. We have a Buick Enclave Premium. That's the big Enclave. That's a 7-passenger vehicle with navigation, backup camera, sunroof, and a leather interior, the fancy wheels. It has 2,000 miles on it. We've got a 14 Challenger with 2,000 miles on. We have a 14 Lexus ES350. We stock a lot of Lexus products because there's not a local dealer. It's got 2,700 miles on it. I'm going to stop there. I've got hundreds of these cars. I think the last time I counted, we had 109 cars under 15,000 miles out of a 364 car inventory. We also have about 50 cars that are under $10,000. So we have something for everybody. We're going back to thinking about new. One of the things I don't like about new cars is some of the gimmicks that they play. I wish they wouldn't do that. I just got a new car in that is a used car, of course, and it came from Crystal Chrysler Plymouth Jeep out of Inverness, Florida. Am I saying that right? Inverness?
Inverness.
Inverness. I can tell you I don't get around much. Inverness, Florida. And they had happened to be a 14.
You're a guy that spells your name Ivan. I mean, what do you expect?
It's actually Even, I-V-E-N.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
It's the Americans that screwed up my name. My real name is Even, but as soon as I moved here from Germany,
it became
they called me
Ivan.
I'm not, what? No, it's Even. No, it's Ivan. So I didn't get into him with him.
All right, so it's Inverness.
Yeah. A 14 Avalon. I bought it at the Orlando Auto Auction. It's got 8,000, 9,000 miles on it. It's a limited with navigation. It's pearl white. It's got the light cut interior. It's got the backup camera. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's about $6,000 cheaper than the new one. But the new ones are kind of hot because I noticed that the original window sticker was included in the car. And this is the addendum that Crystal Chrysler Dodge Jeep put on this vehicle. They must have a Toyota dealership also. They put on there the environmental and safety protection application includes factory certified technician inspection. Hello. Application of DuPont paint protector, application of DuPont fabric / leather protector, Purgian 98 better fuel economy, 24-hour towing, longer life battery, replacement. Oh, that must be a towing service. And they added it on at $969. That is what we call in the car business an addendum sticker. So you've got your original window sticker of about $43,000. They end up $969 above that. Now, everybody knows this garbage costs maybe $100, but they mark it up to $969 for a reason, so they can deal on the car. They can give you a bigger discount or they can give you a bigger trade-in value because they have the car jacked up. It's not the original MSRP. And there are dealers in Pensacola that actually don't even put anything on the car. They just put a markup on. They'll call it cost addendum, high-priced addendum. They did that with the Corvettes when they first came out, the Chevrolet dealerships, and I'm not talking about our local Chevy dealers, I'm talking about nationwide. When the new Corvettes came out about a year and a half ago, they put a $5,000 addendum on there. Chevrolet didn't like it. They don't want you gouging the public, but the dealers didn't care. It's not in their dealer application that they can't ask whatever they want for the car. The MSRP is a suggested MSRP. Manufacturer's suggested MSRP. That's a suggested. That's what the S stands for. They can ask whatever they want for the car, so they would put an addendum on it. They did that when the Mustangs change a body style. They did that every time they get a hot car, they put an addendum on it. It allows them to either get that extra profit or allows them to deal on the car more. So you stop at a Frontier Motors. I'm going to tell you what I can get you a 2015 used for. Matter of fact, I'm going to check and see how many 15s we got on the lot. So if you are going to buy a brand new car, you'd want to stop at Frontier Motors and take a look at some of our 15s. I can search by year. So let's plug in the year ones. The other thing we do for you also, folks, if you're looking at buying a used car, call Frontier Motors and give them the ID number, the 17-digit VIN number, they call it vehicle identification number, which is on the windshield, lower left corner of the windshield, or it's on the door. I shouldn't say or. It's supposed to be on both places. So when you give me that VIN number, I'm going to plug it in my computer. It's going to run an automatic Carfax. I'm always appalled when I go to another dealership's website and I click on one of their cars and it says, get your Carfax report. I click on it. It takes me to the Carfax website. They want $40 to run a Carfax for their car. That's a crime. When you go on Frontier Motors website, we have a link to Carfax and AutoCheck. Just click on it. It's free. It'll give you automatically the Carfax on that car. And if you come to Frontier Motors, our salespeople unlock every car every morning, and we have the Carfax and the AutoCheck, which is the second largest provider of history reports in the nation. We subscribe to both of them. They're in the glove box of the car. So you can tell exactly where the car came from, how many owners it had, if it's been an accident, all that stuff you can tell, but without even talking to a salesman because our cars are unlocked. Now, getting back, I'm going to jump around a little bit here, folks. Getting back to the 15 models, we have a 15 Mazda CX-5, a 15 Volvo S60, a 15 Chevrolet Equinox, a 15 Captiva, another 15 Captiva, 15 Mitsubishi Outlander, a 15 Mazda CX-5, again, that's the second one, a 15 Suburban, a 15 Chevy Traverse, a 15, another CX-5, that's the third CX-5 Mazda. I like Mazdas because you saw what I said before, the best brand out there is Mazda. So if you can't afford a Lexus, the next one on the list is Mazda. So I've been stocking up on Mazdas because they're such a highly rated vehicle. We have a 15 Mazda 6. We have a 15 Enclave. I talked about that before. We have a 15 Cadillac SRX. Matter of fact, we have two of them. A 15 Audi A3. It's only got 4,000 miles on. A 15 Ford Fiesta. Two 15 Terrains. GMC Terrains, a 15 Chrysler 200. I'm getting tired. I go on and on and on. I got a lot of 15 model cars in stock, and the reason we keep these cars in stock is because we want to give you the alternative to the new car. Last week we talked about that Consumers Reports has a fact. They took a survey. They said the average car goes down 27% in the first year. And if you do the math on this, you're going to see I'm correct. The average new car price right now is $34,000. If you take 27% off of that, the average depreciation in the first year of ownership, $9,100. That's a huge chunk, folks. You drive off the lot, 1 year later, it's $9,100. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to save you $9,100 in every car I had. I had a customer come in the other day that said, hey, you said you're going to save me $9,100. He was smart enough to listen to the show, and I said, well, what if I got to make $2,000 profit when I sell a car? Well, now I can only save you $7,100. But isn't that still a lot? If I can buy the car $9,100 less, if I sell it for $2,000 profit, now it's a $7,100 savings over a new one. You know what the taxes on $7,100 are? It's about $350. So you're also saving $350 in taxes. Now your savings are $7,450. Our dock fee is $200 less than any dealer in town. So you're saving another $200, which is about $7,700. Now, if you finance $7,700 less over the time of a 60-month loan, you're going to save almost another $1,000 in interest. So now your savings for the first year depreciation is $8,100, and I'm still making money. So everybody's happy. You save $8,100. I sell a car and make money. Maybe I'll give you more money for the trade-in on top of what the new car dealers. So you might even save more than that if I appraise the car for $1,000 more than they're appraising it for. And folks, because we sell every make and model, and I'll give you an example. If you go to a Lexus dealership with an F350 diesel, you want to trade it for that brand new Lexus SUV, you think they're going to give you a good appraisal? Heck no. What are they going to do with an F350 diesel? They don't got. Who's coming on a Lexus used car lot to look for a diesel? They take that vehicle and they wholesale it to a wholesaler. The wholesaler takes the auction. He wants to make money on it. He's got auction fees he's got to pay. He's got to pay for transportation if they're going to ship it to a big auction, which costs about $1,000. So therefore, it's very possible that your appraisal could be $1,000 less than what it should be. I get a lot of customers coming into the dealership. I appraise their car for them. They're going to buy a brand new car. I've got a customer right now. He's going to buy a brand new Honda Odyssey. And he's shopping all over the place because I get calls from these dealers. He shopped at the local dealer, Pensacola Honda. He went to Tamron. He went to a couple of different Honda dealers. And they're calling me for the appraisal of his car because I told them what I'd give him for the car. I think the vehicle appraisal was $21,000. Well, they're all hitting his vehicle for quite a bit less than that. So he tells them, I'll call Frontier Motors, and they'll buy it right from you for $21,000. And guess what? That's what's happening, because my appraisal was higher. So that's another way that we can help you. And this could be true whether you buy a used car somewhere or a new car. Let's say you found a used car at World Ford, and you love the car, and you call me up, and you give me the ID number. I run the Carfax for you. They run the Carfax for you. It's all good. They give you a price on the car. I do the research also, by the way. When you give me the ID number, I'll tell you right away if it's a good price or not. And I'll tell you, on that car that they have, don't pay any more than $20,000. Well, they're already at $20,000. So I tell you it's a good deal. Now, how else can I help you? Let me appraise the trade. What if you have a type of vehicle, let's just say hypothetically it's a Lexus. I do really good with used Lexuses. Well, the Ford dealership might not. I'm not trying to put words in their mouth. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But I got a feeling that there's not a lot of people going to a Ford store looking for a used Lexus. When they come to an independent dealer as big as us, with 364 cars in stock, they don't really know what they want. That's why they come to see us. And we do a really good Lexus business. I think the last time I looked, we've got about 17 brand new, newer type Lexus in stock. I shouldn't say just 17. I'm going to double check it because I think I've got some trade-ins that I can sell for under $12,000, $13,000. So I'm going to run an inventory by make. So I'll find out how many Lexus we have. But again, you might get a lower appraisal at that dealership based on the fact that they don't need that vehicle very bad. Now, if you had a used Ford, who knows? You still want to check us out to keep them honest. You come to the dealership, within 15 minutes, I'm going to do an appraisal. I'm going to tell you, here's what they should be appraising it for, and here's what I'll write you a check for. Normally, I would think that if you're spending $30,000 to $40,000 at a new car dealership, they should give you more for that trade-in than I would. You know that you're going to get a good car. When I buy a car at the auction, they rate these cars from 0 to 5. I won't buy a car unless it's a 4 or above. A lot of dealerships buy cars that are 2s and 3s. Why do they do that? Because they're buying them cheaper. Because they're ratty. I won't buy a car like that. I would rather pay more and get a real nice car. And the credit unions really like that, because when you open this NADA book, which is the one they use, and it says that the retail value of the car is $37,000, it's $37,000 whether it's rated a 2 or it's rated a 5. They don't ask you for the condition. I think that's a crime. But there's not a condition index in this book. This is NADA book is the one that the credit unions use. When I talk about bankers, because bankers sometimes go to one step further and they pretend like they know what they're doing in the car business, and they tell you, this is not the book value, this is what it's worth. I take offense to that because they don't have a clue. They know what the book is. They have no idea if this book is right or not. And a lot of times, folks, you can take this NADA book and throw it in the garbage because sometimes it's really, really high compared to what you can buy a car for. Sometimes it's low. Not that often. Sometimes, especially on the cheaper stuff, like a Jeep Wrangler. This book will say that a 2005 Wrangler has a book value of $8,500. Well, guess what? They're selling for $12,000. So throw the book in the garbage. Sometimes it'll tell you that a Mercedes is worth $48,000, and I can sell you one all day long for $42,000. That's quite a bit of a difference, and I'm still making money when I sell a car. Everybody knows that. Which dealership would be around if they didn't make money? It's the amount of money that a dealer has to make that sets one dealer apart from the other. The advantage of coming to Frontier Motors, being outside of Car City, we bought our place 19 years ago for $105,000 for a reason. We wanted low overhead. We actually went to Car City. We actually found a building, which now there's a franchised a company in that building. It was empty back then, 19 years ago. It was a beautiful building, a lot of glass. I loved the building. They wanted $1 million for the building, and it took about $500,000 to renovate it. Can you imagine? And I didn't have $1.5 million in cash. If I did have that kind of cash, I would have used it to buy inventory, not to buy the building. But I didn't have that kind of money, number one. I could finance it. I had good credit, but my mortgage and my insurance and my taxes on that would mean that I would have to jack up the price of my cars so much higher to be able to pay my overhead. So we decided to go the other way. We bought a little dumpy lot.
Yes, you did.
It was purple and pink. It was a buy you pay your lot. It had a barbed wire fence, a 15-foot barbed wire fence all the way around it. The guy that owned it had to carry a gun. It was in a bad neighborhood. Number one, the neighborhood's not bad anymore. Number two, we fixed up the place really nice. Number three, we expanded 3 times. And number 4, we bought about 5 different lots since then. And they're all little lots. Matter of fact, I just closed on one the other day, and it was only $28,000. Now, if you can buy a lot for $28,000, your overhead is quite a bit lower than some of these mausoleums. And I saw there's a mausoleum towards Mobile that the rumor was that the dealership paid $35 million to build this mausoleum. How many cars does it take to break even when the building costs $35 million? That's not even including the inventory. That's not including your payroll. You got to make a lot of money on your cars to do that. And that's why we get the word out to shop at Frontier Motors. We will give you an out-the-door value or pricing in writing within 15 minutes. You probably have already shopped online. If you Google Frontier Motors, we're the first one that pops up. And we have 364 cars in inventory. They all got prices on it. Now, if I got it yesterday, they might not have a price because I've got about 15 cars. Matter of fact, this is my list that I got this morning. And the top, let's see, I bought about 20 cars yesterday. Those 20 cars that I bought yesterday aren't priced yet. They will be priced this afternoon. So it's possible you get on the website, you might say, well, Ivan says he prices every car. Well, I do. I just haven't gotten around to all of them. But all the other ones on here, pages and pages and pages of inventory, they all have internet prices on them. They have our asking price and our discounted price. Sometimes I've got a little bit of leeway on the price and sometimes I don't. So I'd urge you to email or text or call or stop by Frontier Motors and we will let you know what our bottom line price is. We will appraise your car for you. I know what the fees are, the taxes, the fees, the out-the-door figure. I'm going to circle that. And a lot of people, when I do that, they say, I trust you. I'm just going to buy the car. A lot of people say, I'm not really sure yet. I still want to go to a couple of different dealerships. I've got a program on my computer, which is really a neat program, which I don't think the other dealers use this program, but it's called Price Driver. They're probably listening to this right now. And when I hit Price Driver, if I'm selling a 14 Impala, it tells me it defaults to 150 miles. It's kind of a cool thing. It defaults to 150 miles. It tells me everybody that's selling a 14 Impala and tells me how much they're asking for it, from the highest to the lowest. So when I quote you a price, I'm going to be very careful to make sure I got the best price. If I don't have the lowest price, I'm going to have the lowest miles, or I'm going to have the most equipment, or most importantly, it's going to be the best condition. Those are the things people care about. They don't necessarily just care about the price. If my price does happen to be a little bit more, and believe me, there's always going to be one cheap one. Always throw the cheapest one away. That car's garbage. I had people that do this so much. Well, I found a car down in Miami, and it's $1,500 cheaper than yours. I said, well, number one, you really want to go to Miami to buy a car? Number two, I'll guarantee you that car's a rat. That's why it's the cheapest. Look for the ones in the middle. Pick out the best ones in the middle. Don't go for the most expensive ones. Those are the the dealers that are greedy, that want the most amount of money. Don't go to the cheapest ones because they're rat. Just concentrate on the middle ones. And that's the way that you buy a car. Now, I'm going to pull this up for you at the dealership, and I'm going to share this information with you. I'm going to tell you Sandy Stansing's got one here. I'm going to tell you Pete Moore's got one over here. I'm going to tell you World Ford one got one here. And this is where I'm at. And then what I'm going to do is one thing different. I shouldn't say different. They might be doing this too. If they listen to the show, they should do this. Give a customer an out-the-door figure. You don't even have to ask me for it. We advertise this, so I tell our 11 salespeople, before they leave, give them a price because that's what we advertise. Now, the price isn't the only thing that's going to help you. Let's say you don't like the color of my car. Let's say you don't like the fact that it's an automatic. I had a customer the other day that wants a Kia Soul, but he wants a stick. I only have an automatic. Think of that. Who wants a stick shift these days? This guy wants a stick shift. So you can lose a deal because you don't have exactly what the customer wants. And that's where our locate system comes in. Our salespeople are really good at showing you the inventory, telling you what we have on the lot, telling you what's incoming, and then saying, if none of that works, let me write your information down on our locate sheet, and we can go and buy a car for you the way you want it. I did this for a customer last week. It was a 2014 Mercedes E350. And he went to the local Mercedes dealership. They had one in stock. He called me up. I says, I think I can do better. So he says, well, if you can do better or get me a lower mileage car, I'll buy yours. Guess what happened? And I'm not badgering we got a great Mercedes dealership. They're phenomenal as far as their service department is. They do the warranty work on my customer's car. They love to have you in the service department, whether you buy it from them or not. But I was able to sell the car for the same price, but I had half the miles. So that makes just a coincidence. They had other ones also on the lot, but they didn't like the color. So I'm not saying, if you're going to buy a brand new car, you go to the Mercedes dealership. And the Centennial is a great dealer. I definitely urge you to see them if you're going to buy brand new. And some people that can afford Mercedes, they don't care. They don't care if it's $7,000 less. They're just going to go buy a new one. I can afford it. I'm going to buy a new one. Then fine. Bring me the trade. I'll praise it for you. I'm getting off track a little bit. We only got a couple of minutes left. We want to talk about a little bit where we're located. If you've never been to Frontier Motors, we got a huge 14-foot Buffalo out front. That's kind of our sign. We don't have a flashing sign, at least not yet. I've been procrastinating about getting one of those fancy signs because I'm too cheap. But maybe one of these days I'm going to get one because they do tell you about the inventory, what we have specials. That they do tell you that we buy cars. They do tell you we do free appraisals. They do tell you that we do free diminished value. If you get in an accident, you bring us your body shop receipt, and I'll tell you how much the car's worth now. I'll put it in writing so you can get some extra money for the insurance company because now your car's worth a little less. I give you a value on your car if you total your car to make sure the insurance company's treating you right. I do that for nothing. I sign it so you can go back to the insurance company and say, hey, I think you're a little weak on this. I think Frontier Motors has got the better price on this car, and that's what you should give me. These are all things we do at nothing, but I think the best thing we can help you with is to make sure that if you're going to buy a car somewhere, that you get a good deal. So don't tell us what they're asking. Just give us the information on the car. Give us the miles and the ID number. I'm going to run the history report at no charge, and then I'm going to tell you what to pay. If they don't do it, you come to me. If I don't have that car in inventory, I will buy that car for you at the price I'm telling you. I'm not here to kink the other dealer's deal. If it's a good deal, I will tell you to go buy it at that dealer. Because I know that if I help you get a good deal, you're going to say, hey, those guys at Frontier Motors, man, can you believe it? They sent me to that dealership to buy a car, but you know what? Next time, I'm going to give them my business. And that's what we do at Frontier Motors, help people from 8:30 in the morning till 6 o'clock at night, make sure they're making the proper decision to make sure they don't get ripped off. And we give advice all day long if it has to do with buying a car, selling a car, how to get a car ready, how to advertise a car, how to get the most amount of money for your car, what we do on consignment if we can help you sell your car for you. When you drop it off, we sell it for you, what we can write you a check for. The list goes on and on and on. Why don't you get the word out that Frontier Motors is there to help you, not just there to sell you a car? And that's really what we've been doing for 19 years. And I urge you to give us a shot before you do that. That's Frontier Motors, 230 Beverly Parkway. Check out our website at frontiermotorsinc.com. Thanks for listening and thanks for watching. Have a great day. Auf Wiedersehen.
Frontier Motors is down the street. Got the best deals that can't be beat. Don't overpay, come in today. Doing business the old-fashioned way. Frontier, we got the right price. Frontier, we'll treat you mighty nice. Frontier Motors, low overhead French